I think that women believe that the reason why I think that men cheat is because they have just this plethora of options that just like float in from the ether, and they can just, oh, here's a beautiful woman and she was just there, and you know, one thing led to another and that was it. I'm sorry, honey, I cheated on you, right?
Raise your hand if you agree with the statement. Is it possible for a man to cheat on his wife and for it to mean nothing? Meaning the cheating meant nothing, the sex meant nothing. It's interesting. The guys, we raise our hand quickly. Is it possible for a man to have sex with a woman that isn't his wife and for it to mean actually, not just in his mind, but it actually mean nothing? Anyone think that? Okay, some of you don't believe
What do you mean nothing? Like it wasn't. So even if it's a sexual experience, that sexual experience can still, it might not be emotional, but it's gratification in that sense. And that should be between
but like he doesn't think about it ever again. It means absolutely nothing there.
There's no feels.
It's really good.
He isn't going to care at all. No, not at all. Like if you could understand, I'm not saying that all sex for men is emotionless. What I'm saying is the emotionless sex for men is so emotionless. I don't think you could possibly understand how little it means to us when we're talking about
I can give you one.
He's not going to think about it later and be like turned on by it.
I can give you one primary example. Guys don't agonize over it when they rub one out to porn.
Yeah.
They're not thinking, oh,
that's what it is.
See myself with this porn star right here going off into the future and having a baby with her and being married.
But he's
meeting
not,
her folks.
He's not fantasizing when he's doing that about the prior experience that he had with her.
That's the compartmentalization.
But there are girls that he got drunk at a bar off a military base and he's not fantasizing about her because she wasn't even hot. And he had sex with her and she wasn't even attractive. It was a Tuesday and it was whatever.
It was a bodily function.
As Justin Waller says, 80 or 280, he doesn't give a right? That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't think women understand. Like, I think women understand that men can care less about sex than they do. I just don't think you understand the extent to which sex can be meaningless for men.
I do. I understand it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guarantee you, if like Nara Ford was here, she would be like, yeah, because I asked her about this. She was stripping at the Rhino for a while. And I asked her about this. She's like, I am fully aware of how men are from working at the Rhino for a while. Actually do still love their wives, but they just want big titties in their face. And it is utterly and totally meaningless to them. And it's like, it's hard for women to understand. Now, I don't know if that makes things better or worse, but when guys say she didn't mean anything to me, a lot of times, ladies, it's true. That's why he's saying that. It really is true. And while it can be true for women, it's less true. Just like you're confused by it, none of the guys here are confused by it. And none of these guys here are confused. Whenever I have conversations with only men, I ask the same question. Like, do you believe a man can have sex with someone who isn't his wife and completely still love his wife and his kids? And without hesitation, 100% of the guys raise their hand. And the reason why is because we have 17 times as much testosterone as you do. And we know horny. Not like you know horny, real horny. Like put your dick in a wall horny. Like fuck a watermelon horny. Like real horny. Like you think you understand, you don't understand. Like men killing other men over women horny.
Let me get Frenchie in here. Frenchie, why do you think men cheat?
Oh, there's always going to be a void somewhere, whether that void be opportunity or I agree with the same thing, but a void could mean anything. So I think men cheat because they're just looking for that thing their wife, their girlfriend cannot fill. So with me, if we're running sex parties, swingers parties, BDSM, men are usually there cheating on their wives because their wife is not good enough or they cannot provide what they are looking for, whatever that void is. Sexual needs, however they are just as a person, like, oh, you know what? My wife isn't like this. I need you to provide this for me, but I could find it here. So whatever this void is, I do think men cheat.
The demographic, the male and female demographic at your like swingers parties, what are they like?
Like, what do you mean?
What's the avatar for the woman who goes to those and the man who goes to those?
Oh, it's mainly always men.
Well, I'm sure, but you got to have some women in there, right?
And usually they have like their wives there, and it's where you kind of were saying like men can cheat and it'll mean nothing. So these women,
I think in a sex party, none of that's cheating, right?
Yeah,
it's all consensual.
It's definitely at that point where women are just like, you know what, I can agree this means nothing because there's probably something at this party that can provide you something I can't bring to you.
But I also think that's the reason why most people don't go to swingers parties is because most women do still attach some emotionality to sex.
Oh yeah, 100%. And they're probably just afraid to like see that.
I'm curious from your standpoint, have you witnessed the first time a man witnessed his wife having sex with another man for the first time?
Oh yeah, all the time.
What's that like?
Most people are already with it. I've never seen someone's like first time just like, hey, here's my wife, go fuck my wife. I've never really seen that because I think it's already been planned, talked about beforehand, before coming to this party, before this gathering.
Yeah.
So the first time I haven't even witnessed that. And
You've never seen, it's never been weird or awkward when they do
no,
it.
it's always been definitely talked about before.
So I have a friend of mine, she goes to like Negril for the swingers parties there. She said it was like 4 couples, so 4 guys, 4 girls. And there was one guy that the other 4 girls didn't find attractive. And they're like, I don't want him to have sex with me.
Oh, yeah.
Does that happen at these events also?
Oh, yeah.
So the idea, you come to to a sex party with your wife, and every man wants to have sex with your wife, but the women don't want to have sex with you. That happens a lot?
Oh, yeah,
So
definitely.
how does that work out?
Usually they'd be like, nope, sorry, you're not touching my wife. Or a woman will literally just be like, nope, you're not touching me.
So there's dudes that dudes that get left out.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
While they're watching their wives have sex with other men.
Yeah.
What a country. What a country. Where did I sign up for this? That sounds amazing.
She's the only one that said because the guy's not getting it at home.
Yeah.
Or he's getting drip fed
And
sex
if you're
once
not,
a month.
the woman's up.
I think most guys would say it's because there's a deficit there. They're in a dry spell and they're married or have a girlfriend and they're in a dry spell. Most I maybe Jim can speak about this, but like being one of the formerly married. Well, no, maybe because you and I are both in the Reignite group for MLA right now, and so one of the questions we were sort of pondering, and I wrote a Substack article about this just recently. It was titled "Why Men Cheat." I think that we like to, most of the women, when we bring this topic up, it kind of rubs everybody sort of like, we're petting a cat backwards kind of thing, and so we always try to find, men cheat, but women cheat too, and so there always has to be some sort of yin yang balance or something. I'm like, no, let's just focus on why do you think that men cheat. We can talk about women later, that's fine, but let's take these conversations individually, because the first impulse everybody has, a reflexive impulse, is to try to balance out the equation or something like that. And it's like, well, you're never going to be able to do that unless you can focus individually on the reasons why guys cheat or the reasons why women would cheat. And so when I see a video and the kind of research that McAmurphy is doing, which sort of teed off this conversation, I don't think we focus on the actual reasons why guys would cheat in the first place, because women will tell you, and pretty much everybody except for you said it was opportunity, right? They had the opportunity, they're dogs, they want to be able to have this variety, and if the opportunity shows up, they're going to go and do it. You're only as loyal as your options, right? Most guys don't have options, ergo they don't cheat, right? Well, I think that women believe that the reason why men cheat, most women, not you, but most women think that men cheat is because they have just this plethora of options that just like float in from the ether, and they can just, here's a beautiful woman and she was just there, and one thing led to another and that was it. I'm sorry, honey, I cheated on you, right? When I don't think that that's the case, because here's my take on it, is I think that there's 2 elements that have to exist for a man to, infidelity, for it to exist for a guy, as opportunity for sure, and a reason. And the reason, like, plenty of guys have a reason to cheat. Their wives aren't them. They're basically been friend zoned by their wives, right? They would very much like to be able to cheat. They probably would cheat given the opportunity, but they don't. The average guy does not have the option to actually go and cheat because he's just simply doesn't have the status. He doesn't have the looks. He doesn't have anything. They're overweight, whatever the causes are. Plenty of guys have reasons to cheat. They don't have the opportunity. Then there's the guys who have the opportunity, but they don't cheat because their wives take care of them. They know that guy is so fucking high value that I better take care of this guy before he goes off and flies to wherever he's going on the jet, right? Or whatever, because you have I know that he has the opportunity. I know he's a high value guy. I know he's good looking. I better suck his dick before he gets in that jet and goes off to wherever.
Somebody clip that. Can we get a clip of
Yes,
that? Let's clip that for TikTok.
Yeah.
Guys, ladies, the point of the story is men cheat on you because they love you. So let's just remember that. Let's go to the next video. We're trying to make the world better. So there's like 3 main differences, dimorphic differences between men and women. There's quite a few. One of them is upper body strength and grip strength. It's like 2 standard deviations more for men than it is for women. Another one is men's fascination with status and women's fascination with men's status. Women are not as concerned with their status as much as men are. But third, and this is the greatest difference, is the median man is in the top 1% as far as the desire for sexual variety. Meaning the median man wants as many sexual partners as the top 1% of women. Do you guys understand? It's like 1, 2, or 3%.
Unlimited access to unlimited sexual.
Correct. So it's like that is the biggest difference, is women's desire for a variety of sexual partners comes nowhere near men do. And if you guys want to read The Evolution of Desire, he talks about men in the Castro with 300 sexual partners in a year. When there is no female selectivity, men will sleep with 200 and 300 people in a year. So that's a massive difference.
Another reason why loads of women wait longer, because loads of men are nasty.
They're all dogs.
Which you know,
I need
so
Jesus.
here's the response to that, and I've heard this from CJ Sparks, my buddy. She's like, I like dating older men because they're old and tired and they don't want to fight as much.
They don't fight.
That's what she says.
They don't fight.
They don't fight. They don't fight you back
There's
as
no
much. They have
pep
more
left in
money.
'em.
Well, here's the interesting thing: because of TRT, they do fight as much. I have the exact same libido that I had when I was 19.
That's awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
I
No, it's great, but it goes back to your problem, because now what happens is the guy that you were waiting for later on when he's in his 50s and he's moral is just as horny as he was when he's 19.
Boy, yeah.
Except now he's smarter, funnier, more charismatic, better networked, and has a lot more money. So that's the problem.
Wait,
I mean,
hold
I
on.
wouldn't get
Let
too
me ask you-
excited
He's
on
basically
that.
James Kilgore right
I
here.
got enough.
He's got books of mahogany. That's what he's got.
Why do you think men cheat?
Opportunistic.
Opportunistic.
My perspective on it is that women want multiple partners, or they cheat when that one man can't necessarily satisfy or check all the boxes.
Mhm. Do you think that that's why men cheat as well? Or is
No,
it just
absolutely not.
opportunism? Why do you think men cheat?
I think that, yes, status definitely has a lot to do with it. When you are making more money, it brings you more opportunities. Maybe your game's a little better because you're more confident with money. So with that, it kind of gives you more options, and maybe you are bored.
Because their partner is not enough for them.
There you go.
Nice, interesting.
Finally, somebody said
Okay.
it. Gigi, why do guys cheat?
Well, it's like you said, like the super horniness, which I personally do understand, and I've always kind of understood. I mean, I would explain when I was single in my 30s. I'm still in my 30s, but being single in my 30s, I would explain my sexual appetite as ravenous. Like, I don't know another word for it other than like
Yeah, but you don't have it
hypersexuality.
for anyone. My point is, like, you don't want to build $1 billion business to impress women type of horny. Like,
Yeah.
that's the type of like Jeff Bezos overcome everything type of horny. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. But I also understand, the horniness of a man. But I do think that some men also underestimate the horniness of women, because I do know firsthand, being hypersexual, and like I don't mean this weirdly, but when I was single and if I saw a man I was attracted to, and would go multiple places and see multiple men I was attracted to, because I love men. I love men. I love them as a brilliant creature. However, I would describe it as I would rape them. Like when I was single in my 30s, my earlier 30s. So I would totally rape a dude. Like, that's how hypersexual and like ravenous I would rip his clothes off. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So I do understand.
But you don't do that anymore.
Well,
I'm-
having
just so
someone.
nobody's asking.
Having
Nobody's
a
asking.
boyfriend, I don't have to
Oh,
do
you have
that
a boyfriend now.
Yeah, correct.
Ah,
So
okay.
I don't have to
And he has no
feel
agency.
that way.
He just
And
told when and where to
I've
perform.
worn dudes out before, so I do, trust me, I understand. Like, don't underestimate the hypersexuality of a female. I do understand, but also, like, honestly, I grew up as a tomboy, so I kind of speak half dude, so I get it. Like, I get it. Yes, men cheat for multiple reasons, but if you're gonna cheat, don't get married. Like, marriage is a sacred union. Like, have some
Funny to me.
decorum.